Hey y'all, welcome back to Pure South Pastures. So today I want to show you, this is kind of a case study. I want to show you why we graze the way we do, and I've allowed the cattle for 2 days to graze selectively. You know, normally we graze non-selectively. We really tighten them up so that they'll eat everything. But I want to show you what happens if you try, in my context, in this context, not for everybody, but in this context, why we stopped doing the take half, leave half method. That's the take half, leave half method. It doesn't happen here. But anyway, because I've given them a larger area for 2 days, I think you'll be able to see why we stopped doing it that way and why we're doing it the way we're doing it now. I think it's a great opportunity to show you. And I'll tell you why we're doing that, why we've allowed them more room for the next, for yesterday and today. But thanks for joining me today. Let's get into it. All right, just a quick video this morning. Cattle are out here on the highway, close to the highway. And you can see, again, they're in an area with a lot of diversity, a lot of forbs or weeds, as well as ryegrass, smooth brome, some fescue, and yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in here. There's some ragweed. It's just, there's some hairy vetch there at my feet. Ragweed there. So, you know, we normally practice non-selective grazing. Tighten them up in really, really tight paddocks. It creates competition, and they take everything down. And so that pushes them to eat things that maybe they wouldn't eat if they had the ability to select. But it's not just, we don't just do that so that they'll eat everything. We do that because the take half, leave half method has not, in our context, has not worked well. And I'll show you why in just a second, because this is the second day I've given them, and you can see they got from there all the way over to the fence. It's the second day I've given them a paddock about this size, and they definitely graze selectively. Yesterday, I think I was stopping. I'm not sure exactly what he wanted, but so let me show you this paddock. This was yesterday's, and they took it down fairly well. What I want you to see is, you know, when there's something that they wanted, they take it down to the ground, and then here is some dog fennel, and it's, you know, it's knee high still. Here's some woody stuff, some smartweed, which is toxic. They're not going to eat that most of the time. Here's some hairy aster, and yeah, just stuff that they normally, if we had tightened them up, they would have eaten it lower. They didn't do it. So here's some ragweed, and the bugs are fierce out here this morning, wearing me out. Anyway, so I just wanted you to see even the grasses, you know, when it gets a little more stemmy, they left it taller, and then they, wherever there was a legume or, you know, something that they really was more appetizing, they would just take it down to the ground, like right here. So anyway, this is what we did for about 3 years. And so if we graze this 4 times this year, and they do the same thing again and again and again, what happens is this stuff that remains becomes the predominant, has an advantage. It becomes the predominant forage or plant in the dominant plant in the paddock, and the rest of the stuff gets taken down every time, so it becomes weaker. And so over time, your succession becomes all of this woody, undesirable, non-desirable stuff. See, there's some curly dock, and we know that in previous paddocks, when we tightened them down, they took that stuff to the ground and took everything off of it. So anyway, I think this is just a case study for why we don't do this. And the reason that I've tightened them up and am doing this today, hopefully the wind's not too bad, but the reason I've done this is, and allowed them to be more selective, is because I said it on an earlier video, I'm going out of town. I'm trying to get to the fence before taking them off this field and moving them to another location where we'll dry lot them and feed them hay and give them about 5 acres that they can graze on, and they'll have plenty of hay and grazing, and give them some water, and we won't be moving them for the next week. So I hate it, but that's probably the best option when I'm out of town and I don't want to ask somebody else to be able to, you know, determine what size area they need to be grazing, that kind of thing. So yeah, this area that they're in right now will look a lot like the one we just finished, like this one over here, by the end of today. And so what I'll do is I'll come in and mow it, and that's what I did back there. I came in and mowed behind them just to take everything down to an even spot and get it ready to take off again. So we don't want to select, we want to graze non-selectively, but I do want to get them through here. And I think it's okay, you know, they're going to be in probably not the most optimal grazing conditions in the next week. They're going to be eating some hay, and so allowing them the opportunity to select what they want for the couple of days going into that, I think will be all right. Really, if you're talking about animal performance, as far as animal performance is concerned, this is a better way to graze, because they get exactly what they want. They're obviously going to go after the most nutritious plants, and so that does provide a better animal performance. It just doesn't it's not the best for the pastures. And so there is a balance. You know, if your animals are suffering because you're non-selectively grazing, then you got to back up and do something different. And so we have I have culled some animals because they couldn't handle this. But you can see the condition on these animals. They're I think they're thriving this type of grazing. This cow right here, good grief, that bag is huge. She's got to be having a calf anytime. She's a heifer. It's a big old bag on a heifer. She's one of our South Pole crosses. So interesting. Maybe we'll have a calf before we leave. I hope she calves before we leave. I'd like to see that. That'd be good. The South Pole calves are doing great. Doing awesome. Here's one around here. Let me show it to you. This is the newest one. We've had 5 Corriente calves and 1 still to come. Had 1 lose a calf, and 1 had a calf before it came, and she had lost it too. It was the previous owner it was some kind of accident where the calf got caught in something and died before I bought them. That's a little South Pole calf doing something with the goldenrod here. I don't know what it's doing. Need to make sure this fence is hot. These calves are of the size that they could go through it. And I definitely want to make sure it's hot out here on this road. So I'm not saying that the take half, leave half method doesn't work. I'm just saying in our context, it hasn't worked the best. And obviously there are lots of people out there that are doing it well. People that I have learned a lot from in the regenerative agricultural world. You know, they do it in their context, and their forage is completely different than ours. So that's really, I think, important, that we don't just kind of blanket everybody and say that everybody has to graze this way for it to work, because it doesn't. In this context, in central Arkansas, with our cattle, this is what works best on our farm right now. And so we're trying to prove it, make sure that this is what we need to be doing, and it seems like this is getting the best results. So I think it's important that we understand that context is key. Context is everything. So the Corriente calf, the one in the back, is starting to bud some horns. The South Pole calf in the front is just about a week old, and she's just thriving. Them Corrientes, boy, even the young bull calves, they start expressing that early. which is good. There's a little bull calf here. We'll be steering, be banding. He's a South Pole. So yeah, just wanted to show you this is what they're grazing today, what they grazed yesterday, and I'm okay with letting them select and then coming in and mowing behind them. I can't do that, you know, all the time, but for these 2 days, as they get ready to go on to some hay for several days, this will be all right. So, all right, I'm gonna get out of here and get to work. God bless you guys. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.